1490 KMET.
That's right. It's the morning show here on ABC News Radio KMET 1490 AM. Right here, doing as much as we can do. And, of course, we love and appreciate each and every one of you. Have you ever had one of those mornings where you go into work and you kind of rush and you have a tie on and your tie is completely off center? Oddly enough, that's exactly what happened to me. So if you heard the rush thing, I was like, oh, shoot, my tie is off. I've done that every often. You know, when you for guys that put a tie on, if you just kind of rush and then it's all like, you know, off camp, or sometimes if you have a lady who will be like, your collar's off, you appreciate that type of somebody telling you, hey, you need to fix it. So there you go. We got Jesse Sanchez over there. Good morning, Jesse.
Good morning. Yeah, I don't wear a tie, so I'm glad I don't have that thing. I have another thing I have to worry about, which is absolutely stupid.
What?
What? Oh. Okay, so the most important thing for me is XYZ. Examine your zipper.
Oh, yeah, the zipper part. Yeah.
Now, people would be like, that's dumb. No, it is dumb. Like, I remember my mom telling me before when she would drop me off to school, was like, make sure your zipper's up. I'm like, that's stupid. I look down, I'm like, dang it.
Yeah.
And it even happens now. I'm just like, and I tell my fiance, I'm like, why didn't you tell me my zipper's down? She's like,
Yeah. You're like, can I have a little backup, please? You know, so, but some of them are like, check it yourself, man. You know, so I know. The worst part is if you ever see someone walk out of like a restroom and like they have toilet paper hanging out down their skirt. Do you tell them or not, Jesse?
Yeah, I would go up to them very slowly and be like, just whisper into their ear and stuff, but I wouldn't make a big scene out of it.
Yeah, exactly. I've seen that a couple times, and I'm like, I don't know if I want to be that person. And then I always hope that there's a lady that will tell them. And but if there isn't, and I remember having that one time at I hate to say this, but it was at Sunday service. Let's just put it that way. And so, you know, you got to be careful with that. It wasn't in the skirt. It was on the floor. You know, like when you like track it with you from the restroom. And you're like, she already went down the aisle in front of so many people. Like, somebody's got to catch that. But anyway, it's one of those things. Anyway, we appreciate each and every one of you. It's not all about that, but there you go. All right, Mark Blevins tuning in. Stephanie Reed tuning in. She says, hello, happy editing this glorious sunshine, awesomeness, busy day ahead for today. The rest of you tuning in, we appreciate you. There's a lot of stories. Jesse's got a few as well. And the question is at this top of the hour, is Russia going to invade the Ukraine? A lot of claims, a lot of things happening over the weekend. I know I saw a reporter kind of running for his life with the rest of the crew, which are on the front lines of Ukraine, and they heard heavy artillery fire, and they began running for their lives. And it was I think it was a NASCAR event on Fox. And so the Fox reporters were kind of like minimizing what was happening. It was weird. And they're like, you mean small fire? And he's like, no, big fire. like it was like, you're not here, man. This is not fake news. But it was weird. And if you saw the report, you'll know what I'm talking about. But sometimes these things come on my phone because I live stream all news agencies. I don't just watch ABC News because I like to get world news ahead of our local news, which is more U.S. news. So this is the top latest thing, which I say is a good thing. It's a good thing to have hope for. Evidently, Biden and Russia or Putin say they'll discuss together. So this is a good thing. If Russia says we don't want to have any discussions, then that's where we would be with war right away. The United States continues to warn that Russia could invade Ukraine any day amid escalating tensions in the region. Now, what they're talking about is eastern Ukraine. And eastern Ukraine has been in a situation for the last 8 years with what they call separatists. But separatists are kind of confused when you talk about separatists. But like, think militia of the U.S. And Jesse, you know about militia in the U.S., right? Are they government sanctioned or government backed?
Oh God, no, 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 they're not.
But they like to act like they are, huh?
Yes, they are. Everybody likes to act big and tough if they have a gun in their hands.
Yeah, exactly. Kind of like the air blower behind me that you could hear. Right, he's not government sanctioned. He's locally sanctioned, right? And that's exactly the way the separatists are of Russia. Now, were they a part of Russia? The answer is yes. But they separatisted themselves, so now they're separate from Russia. But nobody's going to understand that because now all eyes are turned to Ukraine, and any bit of war that's going to happen there, it's going to be seen as an action of Russia, whether they want it or not. But I believe in the last week or so, it's gotten really bad because they actually attacked, and this is the separatists, not necessarily Russia. The separatists actually did attack a school, and a kindergarten school at that. So they're really kind of throwing all like caution to the wind. And I feel that they feel that Russia will come to their aid because Russia is on the northern section with their armies. So the question of the day is that going to happen? I don't know, but I know this. We're going to take a little break. I'm going to close the window here because it is loud. And we'll be right back with more right after these messages. Stay tuned.
Hey, Mark's here. We want people should know about the new Italian radio show on KMET. Like my Uncle Vinny used to say, Gumbas non stunad.
Yes, I see. There is no such words in Italian.
Forget about it. Tell them about the show.
The Italian radio show presented by West Coast Italian Radio.
Mondays at 4 p.m. on KMET 1490 or stream us live 24/7 from our website, CIR.biz.
Make sure to tune in.
You don't want that we should have to tell you twice.
Your health truly is the greatest gift. At Theory, quality of life is at the heart of every product we make. From farm to shelf, we travel the world to source the purest, most efficacious, and clinically studied ingredients to create science-backed supplements that support beauty, emotional, digestive, and physical well-being. All Theory products are manufactured at our Southern California facility, ensuring the highest quality standards every step of the way. As a family-owned company, we celebrate the power of human potential with a mission to inspire wellness in all. Try Theory Immune Plus Daily Wellness. 100% daily values of vitamin C, D3, and zinc. Go beyond the you of today and catch the you of tomorrow. Theory.
We're in the studio with Fred Penny, managing attorney with Penny and Associates Injury Lawyers. Fred, tell us what makes you the number one choice for handling personal injury cases.
Most of our firm is made up of former insurance company trial lawyers with extensive experience handling all types of personal injury matters. We believe that gives us a distinct advantage.
That's Penny and Associates Injury Lawyers with locations throughout California. For a free consultation, go to pennyandassociates.com or call 1-800-616-4LAW. That's 1-800-616-4LAW.
Are you paying rent because you think you cannot afford to live in your dream home? Are you renting because you don't believe that you have the down payment funds to purchase your own home? The Siegel Lending Team at ronismylender.com has up to $25,000 to help qualified people purchase their own home at amazing interest rates. Contact the Siegel Lending Team today at ronismylender.com. Again, ronismylender.com, licensed under NMLS 217037. ronismylender.com.
Have you ever wished you could just wake up one day, reach across your nightstand, and hit the life reset button? Let's face it, the struggles and frustrations of everyday life leave millions of women and men around the globe yearning for a new way. And the new way is right here in Life Reset, the awareness integration path to create the life you want by Dr. Foojan Zeine. You can get it now at Foojan.com or Amazon.com. Life Reset, the awareness integration path to create the life you want. You deserve it.
That's right. It's the morning show here on ABC News Radio KMET 1490 AM. We appreciate each and every one of you, and we also appreciate all our programmers here on the station. Download our app. It's free, KMET 1490 AM. Not all of them stream live like we do, but if they do, you can follow them individually and figure that out. I know Dave Ramsey does, and he's on at 11 o'clock, and he's everywhere there is an internet connection. Just subscribe to him. All right, we got Jesse Sanchez over there. And Jesse, what's going on in the world?
Oh my God. So I kind of want to get a boat. Okay, did you hear about that giant cargo ship that's burning in the Atlantic?
I've heard of several things burning among volcanoes and such, but sure, go ahead, hit me with it.
So, yeah, there's a cargo ship carrying a bunch of cars and Porsches, luxury cars and stuff like that. I'm thinking of getting a boat. Who's with me? Let's get a car.
Yeah.
Down to the... My thing is like, okay, all of these things that are burning, what's that going to do to the ocean?
Well, man, this is a discussion I had over the weekend. It's one of those I feel people don't want to hear, but they're going to have to hear at some point. But I don't know if they want to hear it right now. Does that make sense? Like, what's your real question here, Jesse?
Right, we have so many things going on in the world. It's like, great, there's more stuff added to it. It's like we got the Ukraine-Russia situation. It's like it kind of feels like a soap opera. It's like, what's next for planet Earth?
Well, and what you're saying is this, because it's really big things, right? Like, we sometimes talk about local news, but when you talk about world news, to some people it's like they're ready to hear. Other people are kind of like, is this real? And then others go, is my problems going to be pale in significance to what's happening with the rest of the world? And then there's some on the opposite end that go, oh, how does that affect me? Or better yet, yeah, but that doesn't pay my bills. Or better yet, that's not going to affect me for some time. But I'll say this, okay? And I had this discussion yesterday. Anything burning, right? Like even that, and even the oil that it leaks into the ocean, pales in comparison to the major volcanoes we've had erupt over the last, what is it, 4 or 5 months?
God, has it been that long? Yeah, it just seems like it. Seems like they're going off every other week.
Well, then they are pretty much. There's been, I think, 2 super volcanoes that have erupted. One of which impacted us here in the States with a not as large of a tidal wave as one would expect, but it was still a tidal wave from Tonga, right? And that was pretty massive of an explosion, right? And that made the news headlines all of a sudden. But the one who turned me on to this fact was actually my mom, and it was from La Palma. From the La Palma one, I think at that time there were about 28 to 29 earthquakes. Well, there's earthquakes all around. There are 28, 29 volcanoes that were active. That was a surprise to me. Okay, then I did the research, asked some very smart people, and I said, "What does this mean for Earth?" Well, that's where the shift is coming with the cold. Now, in the next week or so, and we've mentioned this. I mean, already over here, we've had like all kinds of weather in the U.S. of the state of California, which it's been warm. And then all of a sudden, like really cold, not freezing cold, but for Pasadena to have snow and hail all in one day as of last week, even though it was one day, it's odd weather. But if you look at the weather patterns around the world, you're starting to see more floodings, more mudslides, more weird extreme weather in just a given year. So that if you do the research of weather, you go, something's off. There are storms, I kid you not. Have you ever been in a storm like 100 miles per hour, Jesse?
No, I have never felt that strong of a wind. And the stupid part of me is like, oh my God, let's get a kite. But yeah, no, I've never.
You would totally be that guy, man. I just
really
know you.
I get that dumb feeling in my head. So like, I wonder if I can get some kites, and I wonder if I can fly. But yeah, no, I've never been in that high of a speed for wind, thank God.
Well, okay, so I watch and I do this, and sometimes YouTube, you'll see some stuff that are not real, right? I'm not going to lie. Sometimes you'll see some stuff and you go, okay, that's obviously fake. That's not real, right? But my mom and I watch kind of the news, honestly, on YouTube because it's snippets. It's just what we want to see, and it gives us what we need to know. But if you YouTube and type in weather and you type in some very extreme stuff that you'll see as of late, this is all real stuff that's happening. There's some videos that you'll see that aren't true, but there's some that will show you the week's climate weather, like what happened this week. And you will see major stuff happening. You go, that's unnatural. Or that's so extreme, but maybe they've always had that. But then you realize they've never had it. All right. So if I type in like February 2022, let's see, they have some that actually show you what it's going to be like. And as of late right now, everybody's seeing a very, very, very big weather pattern happen here in the States. And if you think of the time that we're in, it's February 21st, right? The latter part of February rarely is ever a cold front. And if you live in the northern states, as I know some of you do, like I know, again, definitely Stephanie does, there is cold and then there's extreme cold. What we're seeing as of late is extreme cold going into March. Okay, March is usually when it starts to warm up because flowers need to come out, right? Or is that April, May flowers? Okay, whatever. My point is this. Rarely do you have snow unless it's September. Well, September's too early, but October, November, and December, and then parts of January, maybe early February. But late February, which is what we're in, going into March, and then April, and then May, it's almost unheard of. Now, rain, yeah. Cold, snow, sleet, hail, rain, bad all around the world? No. Okay, I'm trying to find the channel where I watch these things. I can't find it. I know it's on my mom's account. But my point is this. When you see weather or oh, that's right. It's not weather that's talked about. It's I'm just gonna type in volcanoes. It's like cataclysm stuff that happened around the world. And it's not weather related. It's called natural disasters. That's right. And it's all over the world. Okay, so here it is. Perfect. Okay, this is some that I might want to pull up. I'll see if I can get the video in time for you guys to see some of this stuff. If I don't have it by today, I'll have it by tomorrow. And then you guys can experience with me how extreme these things are. And I've talked about this channel. It's called Climate Change. I highly recommend you go check it out. And what they do is they compile all the videos from around the world that people have taken on their phone at a certain amount of time. And then they say, this is what happened during this week. And they kind of break it down for you, which I really do appreciate it because it's all very, very real stuff. And actually, let me see if I can bring up one of the most recent ones. And when you see this stuff, you go, what's happening to our world? And then you kind of put everything else in its own little, how do you say it? Like its own little measure of, one, thank God I'm not there. Two, do I have family that are there? Three, do I need to be safe if I travel, which I say yes. And then four, are these things having an effect on the rest of the world? And the answer is yes. Volcanoes spewing ash as much as they are. I think we're at 51 verified active volcanoes right now. That by itself is a problem. When you have that many active volcanoes spew rock ash into the air, you have carbon, you have all sorts of other things left in the air, which will circulate in the air for quite some time, which is why we're seeing extreme weather when it comes to cold. Some areas it's like, yay, we get cold. Other areas you get crashed into, you get blizzard, back to how heavy it's been. There is footage, I kid you not, Jesse, of 200 mile per hour winds. Yeah, 200 mile per hour winds. Do you know what 200 mile per hour winds do to you if they blow that fast?
No, to be honest, I'm trying to fathom 200 miles per hour, and I can't. The only thing I can think of is if something's flying in the air, it's going to go right through you.
Yeah. Imagine roofs that are completely very, very strong get ripped away. Even on commercial buildings, Jesse. This has happened just this week alone. So when people ask me, how was your day or how was your week? In my head, I go, well, it wasn't as extreme as it was in certain areas. But it is horrendous. Okay. And this all in about a week and a half's time in areas like Russia and areas like, northern countries, especially, Brazil was one of them. It's terrible, Jesse. So we here in the States honestly don't have it that bad just yet. But what if it gets this bad because of all the Earth kind of doing what it has to do in order to reset itself? It's a shift that we've already been seeing coming. This is why I say no more will you want to call it global warming. It's not about global warming anymore. It's about a cold front because it's a shift just like the day after tomorrow. And sad enough, this is the type of extreme weather we're starting to see. Granted, we don't see wolves coming out of nowhere. We don't see the permafrost, towards at the end where it all gets super cold. But in certain areas where they all of a sudden have no power, it's because people are going crazy because there are people running into, I think over here locally, we had somebody run into a telephone pole. And then, we have helicopters crashing into, we had one in Florida. Did you guys see that? And then we had one here in Newport Beach that crashed into the sea. Both of them, opposite ends of the world, one in Florida, all in the same day. What's going on? There is weird. Jesse?
Yeah, I heard about that yesterday, about the helicopter that went down. I think it was in, Huntington Beach or Newport or one of those?
Yeah, Newport. Yeah. And sadly, one of the officers died from it. The other one got out, but the question is, you could see him looking dazed and confused because somebody was on the scene taking the video footage. But on the Florida side, I honestly, when I saw the Newport one, I said, oh yeah, I saw that footage. I told my mom that. And then I realized the one was in Miami Beach during the day. Thankfully, it crashed into the ocean away. And I say thankfully, I don't mean that to sound weird, but away from the people. Because if those blades would have gone into somebody, more people would have died. Because there were a lot of beachgoers on the east coast of Florida. It was, obviously, that time of the year, it's called vacation, right? So, but here on the West Coast, the same thing happened, odd enough. So the question is, what is going on in the world, right? Are people losing their minds? Are they losing a function of their mind? Are you feeling off? I know I talked to a couple of people that even when they communicate, they're communicating off. So the question is, what is going on with all of us? So if you are okay, good, stay okay. Be good, be blessed, and stay blessed, all right? We got to take a quick little break. We're going to see more right after these messages. I'll see if I can get some footage. Put another 3 minutes on so I can try to download some of this stuff so you guys understand what I'm saying. We'll be right back.
Take KMET 1490 AM with you everywhere you go by downloading our free smartphone apps found on the KMET website, KMET1490am.com. You can also go to the Google Play Store or the Apple App Store on your phone to download the free app. Now you can listen live or play any of your favorite programmers' podcasts using your smartphone. Go to KMET1490am.com and download your free phone app today.
Your pharmacy and mobility solutions is now Beaumont Pharmacy with a new location at the Sundance Corporate Center. That's at the corner of Highland Springs and 8th in Suite 110. Of course, they still have Pack Your Meds. No more counting out the pills, dropping them on the floor. Oh, what a mess. And they have a full selection of pharmaceutical CBD. Wheelchairs, over-the-counter meds, you name it, they've got it. So if you're looking for the best and you want the best pharmacy, you go to Beaumont Pharmacy at their new location, 835 North Highland Springs, Beaumont Avenue in Beaumont, California, Suite 110. Give them a call, 951-845-8252.
Join Yvette Walker every Tuesday at 4 o'clock p.m. on KMET ABC News Radio, 1490 AM, FM 98.1, and Internet KMET TV for the Southern California Business Report. The show is dedicated to highlighting successful businesses and the individuals behind them. Yvette interviews the incredible people managing these enterprises that range from awe-inspiring sole proprietors to world-renowned organizations. The Southern California Business Report, Tuesdays at 4 o'clock p.m.
The staff and families at Custom Care Solutions Caregivers take this time out to recognize and salute the Palm Desert men and women in uniform, standing tall for our political and economic freedoms around the world. Let's always remember them in our thoughts and prayers. Their efforts abroad and our support have kept America strong. That message was courtesy of your good friends at Custom Care Solutions Caregivers, 42201 Beacon Hill in Palm Desert. They're always working to keep our community moving in a positive direction.
Standard Time is here. That means shorter days and cooler nights that make you want to stay inside. Don't get caught in the cold. Franklin Mechanical Systems can do a preventative maintenance check on your heating unit to get it working right. For cleaning, repair, or a new installation, call them for a free estimate. Franklin Mechanical Systems, for all your residential and commercial heating and air conditioning needs. Call their Beaumont office at 951-845-1000. That's 951-845-1000, and stay warm today. New teen driver in the family? Just bought your first home? Have a new bundle of joy? Every life change matters, and by reviewing your insurance policy with Little & Sons Insurance Services, you could be benefiting with big savings. Little & Sons Insurance Services, a family-owned insurance agency who values the old-fashioned way of doing business. They work for you, not an insurance company, meaning your best interests are at heart. They can custom tailor your policy based on specific needs at a price you can afford. Home, auto, or business, you're covered. Call 1-844-9-LITTLE. That's 1-844-9-LITTLE, or go online to little, the letter N, sons.com. That's littlenSons.com.
Welcome back. Yes, it is the morning show here on ABC News Radio KMET 1490 AM, and we appreciate each and every one of you for spending time with us. And there's a lot of things going on in the world, and obviously a lot of people go, well, what do we do next, right? So I will say this, you got to be careful with whatever you're going to do. That's number one. And number two, you just got to understand there are things happening that you got to be very, very, very well aware of. And it's sad that these things happen, right, Jesse? I mean, it's one of those things where you're like, okay, let's make sure we're all safe. Let's make sure we're all good. Let's make sure we're all going to stay safe, right? But extreme weather is weird, right?
Oh, yes, most definitely. And it feels like it's just getting weirder by the year.
Yeah. It's sad but true. So I got the video footage. It's not the one that I wanted. I think, let's see, my mom put the one that is more correct than not. But let's see. Let me see if I can get this up here in just a minute. So... and again, I should have had this prepared. I apologize. I haven't. But let's see if we could play it here for you. And let's see. Messing up with it. There's the... Okay. So I'm going to turn that down, and then hopefully you guys can hear me. These are some of the things, Jesse, and I'll hopefully be able to stream it to you guys so you can see this. These are some of the things that you'll see happening, and this is extreme weather. I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, okay, snow like this. All right, well, that's pretty massive. But the winds are causing so many problems with so many crashing all of a sudden because it's just too strong. So there's a lot of problems with, troopers trying to get around, firemen trying to get around, and then you've got, sleet of hail and weather and strong force winds. Blizzard conditions, right? And that's here in the States, okay? So that's what you're seeing right there. And the reality is you don't want these things to happen, right? You're hoping they won't happen. This is in Minnesota, by the way. We all have friends in Minnesota, right, Jesse?
Oh yeah, most definitely. Wow, this oh my! I can't even. Oh my God, that roof is just lifting off like a.
That's in Belgium and the Netherlands. That's 150 force winds. These are trees toppling over, Jesse. This is in Hurricane Eunice. Okay, we've seen. Now this is what you're talking about. If you're out in the open, you see those two guys on the opposite side. Those guys were like, it happened so quick. There's a tree. Boom. There's your car. Allstate insurance, please. Like, I don't know how to describe this to our radio audience. Jesse, can you describe what you're seeing?
Oh yeah. Let's just say the winds are knocking trees down as if they're made from Legos. I mean, yeah. There's no hesitation. They're just falling, crushing cars. But you know what? I don't understand the people that are driving in this snow. I would not even leave my house if I see something like that.
Look at this truck completely topple over. Goodbye. It's blown to the side, Jesse. How is that even a thing? It's like Final Destination gone mad. Did you ever see that movie? Look at this. Full on cargo where that's what you put on the back of a train, toppled over by 200 force winds, Jesse. This is in the Netherlands. You know, I love the Netherlands. I've always wanted to travel to the Netherlands. This is what they're having to deal with. Okay, this is here in California. There's been big forest fires, evidently. I love this channel because it tells you everything that's happening in 1 week, sometimes in just a few days. And they compile all of this. They put it all together for us to be able to see and to say, whoa, where is our Earth going, right? So this is a very common view right here, which a lot of people would see, which is wildfires, right? That's here in California. But they've been spurring up all of a sudden out of nowhere. And people are like, what's going on? And I say, it's not even that cold for fires to be here, but there it is. But back to the weather and extreme weather of other countries. 200-mile-per-hour force winds are one thing. Blowing off a roof, which is completely functional, is a whole other thing, right? These are hailstones, which we're starting to see here in the States. But this was in Brazil. Now look at those bounce off and look at the size of those, Jesse. Imagine that hitting your head on the outside. Look how it's pummeling and putting holes in that roof.
That's Brazil?
Yep.
I wasn't even aware it hailed in Brazil like that.
It doesn't, man. Not like this. That's what I'm saying. It's normally warm tropical weather around now, usually. This is called February weather. Now, November, December, maybe, but you're known as tropical. Do you understand what I'm saying? Stephanie Reed says, Hurricane Eunice, that was my grandmother's name. If I don't show you this, you guys don't understand the extreme weather that we're having all around the world at any given one time. See, this is Rio Grande de Janeiro. And this is okay, typical. You go, okay, but look at this one. This is a construction. And it is going bye-bye in the United Kingdom. Again, Hurricane Eunice. 200-mile-per-hour winds. There you go. Yep, that's the roof. Just completely peeled off all at once. Imagine working there and that happening, Jesse. Look at this. Boom. Oh, that was a vehicle. Look, this guy skates. He skates in the weather. He doesn't even know what he's doing. It's sad. Watch this tree. Boom. Yep, that's you just driving. I'm telling you, this hurricane is extreme, but it's not the only one happening. That's the problem. Watch this poor guy. He's being blown into that vehicle. He didn't even know which way he was walking. It's sad, Jesse. This is called you want to be inside, not outside, because this is what's happening. Oh, look at this. People are telling me they're not even faking it, but look, they can't run in it, man. It is so strong. Look at that tree. That is a huge tree. It uproots trees, Jesse. I'm telling you, insurance agencies everywhere are going to be like, acts of God. They're not even going to want to pay for this. Jesse, what do we do?
Captain Planet, where are you? Go. We need you.
Yeah, it's about that way, man. I'm telling you. We are doing ourselves harm. Now, I will say, and I've said this in the last few months, I said, look, at this point, it's not about us causing these problems. It's about the volcanoes shifting the planet. We have no control of the volcanoes, right? Anytime you have more than 50 volcanoes active, you're going to have extreme weather. The Earth has to reset itself. Yes, we didn't put it in a good place at first, but we're at the place now where we go, guys, we need to offset this. I say plant more trees, plant more trees, plant more trees. Because with all these fires, with all this carbon being emitted, it has to go somewhere. People expect it to go somewhere in the planet, but it's called recycle of oxygen, recycle of carbon, recycle, right? But when you have so many volcanoes erupting all at the same time, it's like having massive wildfires everywhere and then some. Now watch this, Jesse. This is in San Pablo, okay? These are floods and landslides that are happening very extreme because what they're getting is inches and inches and inches of rains all of a sudden within less than a few hours. So they got about 3 feet of rain happening in this town. And what you're going to see here in just a minute is pretty extreme. There are motorcycles being just plummeted 100%. Now you're going to see this here. These are homes that are basically underwater. Now in some areas, Jesse, it's hit honestly anywhere from, now imagine that coming down your road. That right there in Colombia is, oh, I feel bad for that vehicle right now. That vehicle is goodbye. But you want to survive these things. So I say get high, get on top, get away from it. Don't survive inside of it. All right. These are all the things happening. Now, as of this week, there was also mega activity, Jesse, and you love the sun, right? Check out this flare. These flares are flares happening on the sun as of this last week, which about a week and a half ago, there was discussion about certain electronics kind of being fried in our Earth's atmosphere above the Earth. It's because of some of these activities happening on the sun. So they kind of compiled all this together, like, what else could go wrong? But watch this flare. It's interesting. Check that out. That is a huge eruption on the sun. Now, we're used to seeing these, but they emit an amount of radiation that we want to say we're protected from, and thank God we have the core to be able to give us electromagnetism to kind of get most of that energy away from us. But imagine if we didn't have that and it came our way. I think that went in an opposite direction, not at us. But look at that. That's highly unusual. You see that right there? That is an arc of one that you do not want to see. What do you think about that, Jesse?
It is absolutely gorgeous. I'm not gonna lie. It is such an amazing thing, but then it's also really bad. I think it was on the back side of the sun that was extremely powerful. I think that's what it said.
Yeah, well, that's coming at us. So that it's gorgeous, just like volcanoes are gorgeous until they crash into you with the rock that they spew. This is in Russia, okay? This is a snowstorm which is happening. And again, this is why I say Russia does not need to invade. They have their own problems, man. They have so much extreme weather there that why would you send people out to like invade Ukraine unless they're like, dude, we need to get warmed? Then just ask for help, man. Like, seriously, I for that reason, I could probably understand, dude, we're dying out here. It's so extreme. I get that. In the northern states, especially here in the U.S., you guys are getting a lot of extreme weather, and that's the sad part. So please, 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 please be ahead of it, because these things are unnaturally at the wrong time of season. Now, November and December weather, yeah, they're used to this. February, no. Okay, that's what I'm talking about. There is extreme weather in a lot of these states, and thank God we all have phones to be able to kind of say, okay, this is what's happening. This is in South Africa. South Africa has had a lot of floods as of this last week. And again, they don't have to deal with extreme levels of snow, but they have to deal with extreme weather of all of a sudden all that water. Look at that, Jesse. If you see that in your neck of the woods, what would you do?
Well, first thing, if I had an area where I lived and it was highly, floodable or in a high flood area, most likely I would have some type of inflatable raft just in case.
Yeah, that would be the smart thing.
Actually, that's a good idea. Yeah, emergency rafts, that would be the best idea.
Well, we live so far inland, I don't see that happening, right? This is already a river, but it's overtaking everybody else. That's the problem. And this is in Tembisa, South Africa. And these people live very poor. They really have little to nothing. Okay, so they barely survive. So that's why it's already bad in their neck of the woods. And this is why you go, oh God, thank God we have like homes that, are 2-story or what. But then we kind of go, well, we have it easier than other places, right? Again, this is Storm Eunice, and Storm Eunice also hits. Look at this guy. This would be you, Jesse. I guarantee it. That would be you right in the middle going, I'm on top of the world. But
yeah, I can't fight that. You're 100% right. I'm stupid enough to do something like that. Like even when the wind, I kind of want to experience that high wind where you can't walk, like the guy that was just being rolled and tumbled.
Yeah, I know you would. You would totally be that guy. You'd be like, take this, but see, look, see. So Eunice is huge. Look at this guy. He's like, yep, that was my car. Dang it. That's it. Goodbye.
I'd be like, yeah, I can't come into work today. Why? There's a tree on my car.
Yeah, literally. And then just put it up to YouTube, get paid for it. There you go. But this is extreme weather that countries are experiencing. And again, they're all experiencing it. Granted, because of storms, granted because of winds that you've never seen. 200-mile-per-hour winds consistently for a few weeks is unheard of, all right? So this is why I say it's better to kind of be aware of these things and then understand what's going on around the world, okay? So just be careful out there. Make sure you're aware of it. Again, I don't know what you do with that other than to say, look, in the 80s, we used to be Save the Planet. It's no longer a, how do I say it? Like a fun thing to say, because we're having to save the planet from the volcanoes, okay? So in order to combat that, we have to move our food in outdoors. Okay, there's ways to plant and ways to make crops actually succeed. I've seen some really cool technologies emitting certain light to certain plants that we can get ahead of it, and we can have our plants for years to come. But at the rate that they're going right now, with the extreme weather coming to here, the U.S., we're going to have a lot of fruits and a lot of vegetables that are going to suffer from it because we're not going to get the needed ultraviolet rays from the sun. And the reason I say that is because of the layer that the volcanoes are emitting right now. The amount of ash or carbon that is being emitted on the outer layer, it's going to shield a lot of the sun's rays from us. So we're going to have low levels of UV index than normal. That allows for the Earth to get colder than warmer. That's why you're going to see a big fluctuation in the next week or so. And then you got to deal with the glaciers that are, I'm telling you, Jesse, we're living in a movie right now. It's like all the movies that were in 1998 to 2001 are all coming full circle. So, is it a warning? Well, we're at the point where we're wanting to clone mammoths. So when does Jurassic World appear? Oh, I get it, after the Cold War. Wait, are we having a Cold War? No, it's a war right now happening. Anyway, so there's a lot of crazy stuff happening. Hug your people, love them. We're going to take a quick little break. Let's see. Stephanie says, we're supposed to have 40s and 50s this week and clear blue skies and sunshine. Yeah, the latest news, go check that one out. It's a last minute cold front that you're going to see, and it's weird. Anyway, we'll be right back with more. Let's see. Mark says, doesn't Russia's natural gas pipeline in Western Europe run through Ukraine? Something like that. I don't know, but we're going to take a quick little break. We'll be right back with more right after this. Stay tuned.
Ruth didn't know she was leaving for good. She knew he would kill her. Could she save herself? Did she feel she was worth saving? How could she best protect her children? To love, honor, and betray, Ruth Tunnicliffe shares her true tale. From submissive to survivor, then thriver. Now living a proud, purposeful life. As an optimistic, inspiring, peaceful warrior. Can a person heal from feeling the guilt of a decision altering many lives? Weighted by living grief, moving through lessons learned, self-discovery, and land in self-love? Can someone who's been abused in every way move to self-trust, confidence, and arrive at living in peace? To love, honor, and betray, a sincere, honest letter. To herself and her adult children, Ruth Tunnicliffe shares her story so that others may also find the inspiring, peaceful warrior within. Amazon worldwide, Barnes & Noble, RuthTunnicliffe.com.
Here's to your health with Joshua Lane. Ideas you can use to be healthy and stay healthy. The current thinking about beauty, fitness, and longevity. Every Tuesday and Wednesday morning at 9 a.m. Wellness talk you can use. Here's to your health with Joshua Lane on KMET, naturally.
Tried shipping a package lately? It's amazing how difficult and time-consuming it can be. Packing, envelopes, boxes, second-day ground, next-day air, it's all enough to give you a headache. Next time, do yourself a favor, go with the pros at the UPS store in Beaumont. They'll pack it right and let you know all your shipping options. You can also take care of everyday tasks like copies, faxing, notary services, and live scan fingerprinting. And while you're there, pay your Edison, gas company, and Verizon bills. Open extended hours Monday through Saturday. The UPS store in Beaumont, located in the Oak Valley Plaza at 1440 Beaumont Avenue. Call 951-769-5956. That's 951-769-5956. Online at the upsstorelocal.com/5027 or Google 5027.
Welcome back. Yes, it is the morning show here on ABC News Radio, KMET 1490 AM. Stephanie says, onions are used to this weird weather. That's a good thing to know. I didn't know that. Jesse Sanchez over there checking out some interesting stuff. What do you got for us, Jesse?
Usually when I tell you a story, it's usually a lesson to be learned. Do you think you're a good person? Good Samaritan?
I don't think anybody's good. I think we all want to be good, but I think the question of the day is, what will you do in an extreme situation? I've had to do that, so I'll leave that to you and your story.
So let's say you're walking in a park and, or even just through wherever and it's crowded, and a young kid, like 8 years old, on a scooter comes up to you. It's like, my phone's dead. Can I use yours to call my my parents because I don't know where they are?
Uh-huh. Sorry, you froze up on me. I didn't hear.
Okay. So let's say you're just on a regular day, and a kid, 8-year-old kid, comes up to you on a scooter and asks to use your phone to call their parents because theirs is dead.
Okay.
Do you give them your phone?
I don't give them my phone. I would call for them.
Okay. That's actually a good idea. So apparently a Florida woman is warning others not to give people their phone.
Got it.
So the woman said a boy asked to borrow her phone and then used Venmo to send himself money right under her nose.
Oh, they've been doing that weird stuff, huh?
Yes. So she says as she was walking her dog, she ran into a young boy. He's all like, my phone is dead. I can't find my family or friends. I've lost them. So he's all like, can I use your phone to call them? And she's like, oh, it's a young kid. Okay.
Yeah.
So she gives him her phone.
Yeah.
And he's talking to them on the speaker, and he's like, can I open your Maps app so that I can figure out where I am?
Uh-oh.
So she doesn't even realize this, and it's not only till later in the day that she realizes that there's transactions on their Venmo that's around like $4,000.
Okay. Oh.
Yes. So, new form of pickpocket people, do not let people use your phone.
You know what? Thank you for that awareness, Jesse, because I Venmo, right? And I got some other apps as well. And sometimes people are like, hey, I want to talk on WhatsApp. I'm like, what is it about WhatsApp that you like so much? And out of the blue, I'm like, I'm on Messenger. Just talk on Messenger. And I theorize it's this. WhatsApp gives you their telephone number or gives them your telephone number. You know what I mean? So I don't want you to have my telephone number. Let's talk on Messenger. You see what I'm saying, Jesse?
I know WhatsApp, but I don't know.
Our internet's freezing up. I gotta get this information out before I get to it. Here we go. Check this out. This is the latest, and this is what I'm talking about. Okay, these are extreme weathers that they're saying is going to happen pretty soon. Now, oddly enough, this is on Yahoo. Extreme weather whiplash, 50-degree temperature swings across the country, and in the negative side. Okay, and this is very, very odd. They're saying it's a 24-hour temperature change as of, let's see. Okay, this was as of Friday. All right. In other words, this is what we're having to experience as of lately. Now, will it get this extreme? I don't know. I think it's a little extreme. I think maybe the information's off. But this is an area which is in areas, and this is a small area like Wisconsin, Milwaukee, okay? And what they're seeing right now is extreme snow, sleet, rain in areas where it all of a sudden is going to happen. So you got to listen to these warnings in a very big way, all right? Once you do, you'll understand what is happening in this world, and you'll understand if you understand that there are so many volcanoes in the air spewing stuff out. So the weather is being readjusted due to that, and certain areas, if you're close to water, are getting flooded more than normal because, well, look at the glaciers and how much they've already kind of gotten into the ocean. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, well, if there's more glaciers, then there should be more, with the cold weather, it being frozen up or freezing. But we've already had certain areas that are at sea level kind of start to diminish because the ocean is rising, whether or not you believe it. But remember, when you have things like rocks and stuff being spewed into the ocean, you're going to have tidal waves. Then you have earthquakes. Then you have all sorts of things just coming at us. So all these things are things I'm starting to watch, and I go, if you have family members and you don't have coronavirus, thank God. But if you're in one of these areas that are impacted by extreme weather like this, ask for God to do something and intervene, because at this point, I really don't know what's going to save us, Jesse.
Yeah, no clue. I mean, the weather keeps shifting. It was literally like 90 degrees like sometime last week.
Yeah.
And it's just like, stop flip-flopping, pick a number and just stick with it for at least a month or two.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I would like for it to happen. But, you know, sometimes when you watch weather people that do really good info, even there, if you look at their facial expression, like, I don't know what we call this because it's odd, because it's just odd weather. It's just weather that you cannot explain, but you need to if you understand carbon emission. When carbon emission happens on the Earth at any given time, back to the thing that you were talking about earlier about, you know, a ship, right, emitting oil, that hurts our ocean, obviously, but it doesn't cause extreme weather in the world as much as volcanoes do, because volcanoes, if you look at the size of some of the mega eruptions, when you see them from outer space in a big way and you see the eruption all of a sudden happen, that is so much that's like the one in Tonga was like equivalent to 8 nuclear bombs going off all at once, the amount of power that it emitted, right? Which is why we had the water disperse over here in the States, and obviously locally to other islands, and some covering them up, right? So you had people, no longer do you have people, right? Because they didn't know it was coming, right? So if you were stuck on as a castaway or stuck on an island, you'd be like, goodbye, right? And you didn't know where it came from, right? Thankfully, the majority of us are here in the States and or around other countries, so at least we could share this stuff with each other so we're aware of why the weather is picking up. Once we're aware of the weather, we can say to the scientists and the people in charge, hello, how come we're not paying attention to this? Why are we going to war when our weather is completely coming at us, 200-mile-per-hour force winds? If I didn't show you, you wouldn't have believed it, right, Jesse?
You talk about all those weather anomalies and stuff like that?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, no one would, but there you go. All right, people, we're going to take a huge break. We'll be back tomorrow, same place, same channel. Make it a good one. And remember, stay safe out there and bundle up. It's getting cold.